Hi guys, it's Abby from Autumn for Pelennor, and today I'm going through what I read from September 2018 to December 2019, which is when I was in this bullet journal. It's not normally this chunky, this bullet journal. I've just put in loads of bookmarks in the different pages. So, let's get going. First up is September. So as you can see, I read a decent amount in September, considering I just started that uni course that I went on, often going over the mark and having to write in how many pages I read. I didn't give ratings to all of these, but in total I read 9 books in September, which obviously wasn't everything I planned, but you know, I still read 9 books, I'm happy with that. Then in October, which is my birthday month, I read 4 books. Again, not too many, not a huge amount, but still decent. I missed a few of them, but you know, I was getting through them. This Mortal Coil and This Cruel Design by Emily Savada are 2 books I adore. They were some of my favourite reads of 2018. So good. Can't wait to read the sequel, which is either out or coming out very soon. Then November, I put in all of my non-fiction books. All of them. Didn't read them all, but I did end up reading 9 books. This was non-fiction November, so out of the 9 books that I read, 8 of them were non-fiction. The first one, Hero at the Fall, I was finishing off. It was a library book, so I needed to get that back into the library. Then December, so I read a decent number of books in this month. All things considered, I obviously haven't coloured everything in or done all of that, but it still shows what I've read. I read 9 books, kind of more like 7. These 2 were samplers that I read, but I wanted to kind of note it down. And I read A Christmas Carol on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and then Little Moments of Love on Christmas Day as well, which was really good. This is also the month that I finished Game of Thrones, the first book in the A Song of Ice and Fire trilogy series, so I'm quite pleased with that. Then into 2019, and as I've nicely written at the top here, I read 2,128 pages. Not doing that for every month. I read 9 books in January. This is also the month that I had my operation. I had a heart operation in January, so you can see the big gap here. The day of the operation, I read a bit of Fall of Giants, then I tried to read it and realised, no, and then went for simpler things. So yeah, it was still a good month, even if I did end up DNFing Fall of Giants because it was massive and I was half dead. Then into February, I again read 9 books in February, a lot more condensed towards the top for this one, and I did finish my 3-book TBR. I was being more realistic and realising I wasn't sticking to TBRs, so I'm quite pleased with that. March is where things start to decline, so I only read 4 books in March. The Timekeeper is what's written here if you can't see because it's in pencil. I read some really good books in March, just not many. In April you can see there starts to be more of a focus on uni work because now reading is just on 1 page. So I wrote down what I read. I only read The Devouring Grey, which I thought I read. Oh no, that was my TBR. That's why. So this was my TBR to read those. I didn't read them. I read a bunch of other books and I don't know what they are because I didn't write them down. But in the little iCard up there, there'll be a link to my April wrap-up if I did one, fingers crossed, and that'll tell you everything. If not, then I'll link to my blog, I guess. I don't know. Then May. You can see what really was becoming important, and it was not reading. I read Who is Mary Sue? And then didn't read for the rest of the month. This isn't that I haven't filled it in, it's that I didn't read. So, on to June. As you can see, I'm running out of bookmarks now. And again, it really was the thesis that was taking up my time. I read The Doll Factory, I finished it off, and I read Sunshine, a poetry book by Melissa Lee Horton, I'm not sure, and a bit of another book, which I'm sure we'll find out what that is next month. But yes, the uni work was taking up my time and this still was not enough work. Future Abi, current day Abi is not pleased with past Abi. Then July, did not do enough thesis work, anywhere near, but I did read a lot more, which was not the aim of the month. So what was the red book? Dry by Neil Shusterman is what I read before. Then Grimm and Anderson's Fairy Tales, Poirot Investigates, The Big Four, The Mystery of the Blue Train, Parallel End House, Stardust, The ABC Murders, and The Underground Railroad. That last one being this one here, which I read all in one day, sat at my aunt's house. Loved it. But yeah, so a lot of Agatha Christie, which is probably why I managed to speed through it. I tend to get very sucked into her work. Then August, as I've written here, this is technically a good thing. I've just realised not everything is in frame. Great. But as I've written here, this is technically a really good thing that I read nothing in August, because I was a little bit busy doing some uni work. Then September, as you can see, I didn't finish any books and I did a lot of uni work again. So I'm still happy with that. I'm still fine with that. I read, what, 40 pages every single day of something that we'll find out what it was in October, and I did a lot of uni work. Then my October reads, so it was The Aliens Are Coming. I loved that book by Ben Miller. Then I also read Before the Coffee Gets Cold, Doctor Who in 100 Objects, and 5 Get Gran Online, as well as reading bits, oh, and The Black Klansman, as well as reading a bit from another book. So that was the date I submitted my thesis, the 4th there, so that was nice. Then in November, I didn't read anything really at the beginning of the month. I started my new job, working in retail over the Christmas period, so it took me a while to kind of get used to it. This was me trying to read Gun Button to Fire around Remembrance Day, and then this was the what was it? The Buzzword Readathon by Books and Lala, Kayla. And this was me reading things with numbers on, so 101 Amazing Facts, 5 Little Pigs, and 11 Doctors, 11 Stories, and then finishing off Gun Button to Fire. Lastly is December. As you can see, I didn't read much here. Hi, I worked retail, but I did get Gun Button to Fire, How to Manage Your Slaves, and The Beggar of Volubilis finished in this month. And that's it all. That's everything I read in this, how many months? Oh god, maths. 15-month period. So let me know if you guys track your reading down below, link me to any pictures that you make, and I'll definitely go check them out. And if you want to see more from me, click like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!